For the last couple of months, I have slowly and steadily fallen into a slump of bad habits. The energy level is low, and the body is bloated, and the head is a mess. A while ago, I was going to pick up my stuff in the locker room. I opened the cabinet to pick up my stuff, and I only found my jacket. I thought, no way, has someone stolen my bag? But just then, I realized I really need a reset, both mentally and physically. That is why for the next 72 hours, I'm doing a high-protein, low-carb diet, combined with dopamine detox. Let's get to work. I just finished the first workout of this 72-hour reset. Those extra kilos are really dragging me down. The body is feeling sluggish and the energy level is completely floored. The physical goal of this 72-hour reset is to reduce the excess water that's in my body and reduce the amount of cortisol that has been built up over the last month. I'm eating below 50 grams of carbohydrates and increasing the amount of protein I'm eating. Drinking 4 to 5 liters of water to force the body to empty the excess water. Here is me before I started the 72-hour reset. Later in the video I will upload a picture of myself after the 72 hours has passed by. And I'm excited to see if I can visually see a difference over the next 72 hours by doing this.
The Roman philosopher Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in our imagination than in reality." In the context of a psychological reset, this is a literal description of how our brains misinterpret data. When your system is overloaded, the cognitive friction generated by anticipating a strict protocol is significantly higher than the actual physical execution of the tasks. Your brain calculates the energy cost of waking up at 5 AM, restricting carbohydrates, and executing low-intensity cardio. And it amplifies the perceived difficulty to force you towards cheap, immediate dopamine. It creates an imaginary barrier of exhaustion to keep you in the slump. The moment you transition from contemplating the friction to executing the mechanism, the imaginary suffering evaporates. The physical discomfort of a Zone 2 session or a low carbohydrate meal is minimal. The physiological torture only exists in space where you allow yourself to negotiate with a fatigued central nervous system. You do not wait until you feel ready. You initiate the plan and cut off the anticipatory stress response.
I just finished the first 24 hours of this reset. There are 48 hours left to extract the physical and mental drag. It is just past 5 AM and I'm on the way to the gym. Not to destroy myself with a high intensity workout, but to extract strict, low impact, steady state cardio. There's a threshold where a string of bad days turn into a complete system failure. For the past 30 days, every variable I usually control has degraded. I have operated on a 5 AM protocol for the better part of 4 years. Here's a good looking picture of me in the local newspaper. But a baseline is only as strong as your daily compliance to the variables that support it. When you drop the standard, the system degrades. Past consistency does not buy immunity from current physiological depth. That newspaper clipping from years ago is irrelevant if today's execution is flawed. This 72-hour reset is not about finding motivation, it's about clearing the systemic inflation and restoring the biological capacity to execute the baseline again without the central nervous system fighting the workload. Let's get to work. Carol Dweck said, "Becoming is better than being." From a purely biological standpoint, being is an illusion. Human physiology does not hold a static baseline. You are never just being fit or being disciplined. Your system is either actively adapting to a stimulus or it is degrading. Lately, I have relied on the momentum of being the guy who wakes up at 5 a.m. Without active reinforcement, that momentum died, and the entire system degraded. This is why the recovery process cannot be passive. This 72-hour reset, this exact Zone 2 session, is the mechanical act of becoming. When you shift your focus from the frustration of losing your past baseline to the execution of rebuilding it, you stop fighting the friction and start using it to drive adaptation. The objective is to constantly master the process of becoming. Good morning. Now it's only 24 hours left of this keto diet and dopamine detox reset. Yesterday I felt a lot of cravings because I'm just eating protein and zero to none carbohydrates. The clock is just past 5:30 and I'm on the way to the last workout in the morning of this reset. And the body is feeling much better already. Let's get to work. Alright, so the 72-hour reset is finished. Here's the before picture, here's the after. And the difference is huge. I didn't think the difference would be that visual, and it was worth the effort. I'm feeling more energetic and almost 100% back on track. And let's end this video by quoting Carol Dweck. Becoming is better than being. I'll see you in the next one.